Hey Raiders fans, we're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Las Vegas Raiders. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. That way, you'll always stay up to date with breaking news and exclusive content. The NFL world is reeling tonight as shocking news drops that MAXX CROSBY, one of the most dominant defensive ends in the league and a cornerstone of the Las Vegas Raiders' defensive line, has been suspended for a staggering 2 years due to a doping violation. Sources whisper that the details behind the suspension are murky, fueling speculation among fans, analysts, and insiders alike. The Raiders, who built their defensive strategy around Crosby's relentless pressure and game-changing plays, are reportedly stunned, with front office executives scrambling to assess the immediate impact on their roster. Inside sources suggest that the suspension stems from a substance violation that, while officially undisclosed, has sparked rumors of performance-enhancing drugs, creating waves of disbelief among teammates who have long admired Crosby's work ethic and commitment. Social media has exploded with reactions, ranging from outrage to disbelief, as fans debate whether this marks the beginning of a career-altering scandal or a misunderstood situation that could be appealed. The timing of the announcement, just ahead of crucial upcoming matchups, has thrown the Raiders' season into uncertainty, prompting questions about leadership, team morale, and the organization's next strategic moves. Industry insiders hint that this suspension isn't merely a standard ruling, but rather the culmination of months of scrutiny, suggesting a much deeper investigation behind the scenes that has finally reached its explosive conclusion. Reports indicate that Crosby had been under the radar of league investigators, with whispers circulating about irregular test results and mysterious consultations with medical professionals, fueling a cloud of suspicion that now engulfs his professional reputation. The Raiders' locker room is reportedly in turmoil, with teammates struggling to reconcile the shock of losing a key defensive anchor with the reality that the league's decision could be final, pending appeals. Analysts are already dissecting how this suspension might affect the team's performance metrics, defensive schemes, and overall morale, noting that Crosby's absence removes not only a statistical powerhouse, but also a cultural leader whose presence was felt in every huddle. Rumors continue to swirl regarding potential back-channel negotiations or legal maneuvers by Crosby's representation, aiming to challenge or reduce the suspension. Yet insiders caution that the league's anti-doping enforcement has been unusually strict in recent years. Conversations in sports media circles are dominated by speculation about the ripple effects, including how rival teams might exploit the Raiders' weakened front line and how this unprecedented development reshapes expectations for the rest of the season. Fans are divided, with some expressing unwavering loyalty to Crosby, while others question the integrity of his past performances, wondering if the dominance he displayed over offensive lines was artificially enhanced. Social media threads are ablaze with theories, including wild speculation about undisclosed substances, possible inadvertent contamination, and whether other players might be implicated in ongoing investigations. The Raiders' official statements have been cautiously phrased, emphasizing commitment to league rules and support for due process, but insiders suggest that the internal atmosphere is anything but calm, with executives reportedly holding emergency meetings to discuss contingencies and draft strategy adjustments. Sports journalists note that while Crosby's talent is undeniable, the shadow of a doping suspension could permanently alter public perception, making every future achievement scrutinized through the lens of this controversy. Betting markets have already reacted, with odds for Raiders games shifting as analysts factor in the defensive gap left by Crosby's absence, while fantasy football communities are recalculating defensive projections and player valuations. Meanwhile, rumors of internal dissent and speculation about locker room reactions continue to fuel the narrative, as unnamed sources hint at tension between coaching staff and players regarding accountability, leadership, and the psychological toll of the suspension on team cohesion. Whispers of potential appeals are growing louder, with legal experts suggesting that Crosby's team may leverage procedural nuances or testing irregularities to challenge the league's ruling. Yet the prevailing consensus among insiders is that the suspension is unusually severe, signaling either a particularly egregious violation or an example the league intends to set for other players. Analysts speculate about the potential financial implications as well, noting that a 2-year suspension could affect endorsement deals, salary guarantees, and long-term contract negotiations, leaving Crosby facing both reputational and economic consequences. Meanwhile, rival teams are reportedly sensing opportunity, with several defensive coordinators allegedly recalculating their strategies to exploit the Raiders' suddenly vulnerable front seven. Among fans, debates rage not only over the legitimacy of the suspension, but also over the broader question of integrity in professional sports, as Crosby's fall from grace becomes a cautionary tale and a talking point for sports commentators, podcasts, and YouTube channels seeking to dissect every possible angle. Even former teammates and league veterans are chiming in, offering conflicting takes that further stoke the rumor mill, as no one seems certain of what really happened behind the closed doors of the league's testing protocols. Insiders hint that the suspension might also trigger a chain reaction within the team, possibly influencing future draft strategies, free agent acquisitions, and salary cap planning, as the Raiders scramble to adapt to a landscape suddenly stripped of one of their most dominant defenders. Sources close to coaching staff indicate that emergency strategy sessions are underway, aiming to identify interim solutions and adjust defensive alignments, with some veteran players expected to assume larger leadership roles to fill the void left by Crosby. Meanwhile, sports media outlets continue to speculate about the personal toll on Crosby, highlighting the mental and emotional strain of public scrutiny, legal battles, and a 2-year hiatus from professional competition. Social media continues to serve as a battleground of opinions, with passionate fans defending Crosby's legacy, while critics argue that the suspension is a necessary enforcement of league policy, creating a cacophony of voices that mirrors the uncertainty surrounding the situation. The narrative grows even murkier as unnamed sources hint at potential internal investigations within the Raiders organization itself, suggesting that the suspension may have broader implications than just Crosby's career, possibly affecting organizational culture, medical staff protocols, and compliance practices. Meanwhile, analysts are predicting long-term ramifications for the Raiders' defensive identity, suggesting that losing a player of Crosby's caliber could alter not just game plans, but the psychological edge the team maintained over opponents. The atmosphere in Las Vegas is reportedly tense, as fans and local media grapple with the fallout from the suspension, which many consider one of the most dramatic disciplinary actions in recent NFL history. Industry rumors suggest that other players, both current and former, may have been observed under heightened scrutiny as a result of Crosby's case, fueling speculation of a potential wider scandal or increased league-wide enforcement. While official statements remain limited and carefully worded, insiders imply that the league is keen to maintain control over the narrative, emphasizing fairness and due process while simultaneously sending a message about zero tolerance for doping violations. As the sports community digests the news, countless discussions unfold regarding how this development will influence the competitive balance in the AFC West, the Raiders' standing in the league, and the career trajectory of a player once considered untouchable. The buzzing rumor mill paints a picture of uncertainty, tension, and intrigue as every analyst, reporter, and fan theorist tries to predict the next move, the potential appeal outcomes, and the hidden details of what exactly led to one of the NFL's most shocking disciplinary decisions in recent memory. Speculation continues to dominate the narrative as the Raiders scramble to recalibrate their defense in the absence of MAXX Crosby, with insiders revealing that internal meetings have become almost daily occurrences as coaches, coordinators, and executives attempt to map out contingency plans. Rumors suggest that veteran players are being urged to step into leadership roles, not just on the field, but in guiding younger teammates through what is being described as an unprecedented morale crisis. Sources hint that the locker room atmosphere is fraught with tension, with some players openly frustrated at the timing of the suspension and the uncertainty surrounding the appeals process, while others remain cautiously optimistic, believing that Crosby could successfully challenge the league's ruling. Analysts in sports media circles have begun dissecting film from past games, attempting to quantify exactly how much impact Crosby had on the Raiders' pass rush and run defense, fueling speculation about which combinations of players might be able to temporarily fill the void. Meanwhile, whispers suggest that rival teams are already adjusting strategies, sensing opportunity, and watching closely for any cracks in the Raiders' defensive armor. Fans continue to debate online, speculating about potential repercussions for Crosby's career, the Raiders' season, and whether other high-profile players might soon face similar scrutiny from league officials. Inside sources hint that Crosby's legal team is exploring every possible angle to contest the suspension, with whispers of procedural challenges, testing discrepancies, and potential appeals to higher sports authorities dominating conversation. Observers note that the 2-year duration of the suspension is extraordinarily severe, raising questions about whether this represents a particularly serious violation or a strategic move by the league to set an example. Speculation extends beyond the field, touching on potential financial implications, including lost endorsements, salary impacts, and long-term contract negotiations that may now be in jeopardy. Meanwhile, the broader NFL community is buzzing with conjecture, with analysts debating how the suspension might influence league policies, testing protocols, and the behavior of players across teams. Sources indicate that Crosby's teammates are privately expressing a mixture of support and disbelief, with some defending his integrity while others quietly question the circumstances surrounding the suspension. The rumor mill continues to churn, fueled by conflicting insider accounts, anonymous tips, and social media commentary, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and tension that shows no sign of dissipating. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The Raiders management reportedly faces one of the most challenging periods in recent franchise history, balancing immediate tactical adjustments with the long-term implications of losing a cornerstone of their defense. Inside reports suggest that emergency meetings are taking place, with staff exploring trade possibilities, free agent acquisitions, and draft strategies that could mitigate the impact of Crosby's absence. Observers speculate that internal evaluations of the team's defensive scheme are accelerating, with coaches potentially redesigning the pass rush, run defense, and overall alignment to compensate for the sudden vacuum left by Crosby's suspension. Meanwhile, industry insiders continue to speculate about the psychological effects on the team, noting that the loss of a key leader may influence motivation, discipline, and cohesion in ways that are difficult to quantify. Fans are vocal on social media, with heated debates about whether the Raiders can maintain competitiveness without Crosby and how his absence might affect playoff prospects. Reports hint at a mix of frustration, determination, and cautious optimism among the players, creating a layered and tense environment where uncertainty is the dominant emotion. Rumors have begun circulating that Crosby's suspension could trigger a ripple effect within the league, with some analysts speculating that increased testing, tighter enforcement, and heightened scrutiny may soon target other high-profile athletes. Industry insiders suggest that the league may be using Crosby's case as a warning, sending a clear message about the seriousness of anti-doping policies and the consequences of violations, while simultaneously managing public perception and media narratives. Observers note that the timing of the announcement, coinciding with crucial games in the season, may heighten the stakes, amplifying pressure on the Raiders to adapt quickly and decisively. Sources close to the team suggest that coaching staff are already experimenting with new defensive rotations, personnel combinations, and strategy tweaks to offset the loss, while analysts continue to dissect past performances for clues about which players can step up. Meanwhile, fans and media commentators speculate endlessly, weighing hypothetical scenarios, predicting outcomes, and debating the broader ethical and competitive implications of Crosby's suspension. The tension between speculation and confirmed facts fuels a constant state of rumor-driven anxiety, with every new leak or anonymous tip adding to the swirl of uncertainty that now surrounds one of the NFL's most electrifying defenders. Speculation also extends to Crosby's personal and professional future, with rumors suggesting he may pursue aggressive legal action, media appearances, or public statements to defend his legacy and challenge the league's ruling. Insiders hint that negotiations behind the scenes could be ongoing, with representatives exploring every avenue to mitigate career damage, protect contractual rights, and preserve endorsement opportunities. Meanwhile, analysts predict that the suspension will reshape the Raiders' season trajectory, potentially altering playoff aspirations, game planning, and team identity. Social media continues to amplify every rumor, creating a feedback loop where speculation drives coverage and coverage drives speculation, leaving fans, commentators, and even league officials reacting in real time to the evolving narrative. Sources suggest that even rival teams are closely monitoring developments, with scouts and coaches analyzing the potential impact on matchups and strategy, adding another layer of intrigue and strategic calculation. The combined effect of all these rumors, leaks, and speculative narratives contributes to a tense, electric atmosphere in the NFL, where uncertainty, anticipation, and controversy dominate conversation in every forum. From press conferences to fan forums to YouTube channels dedicated to breaking news and insider analysis. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.